Good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. And we're brewing up some astrology tea tonight.
Good deal. Hello,
Good
Brenda.
Hey, Brenda. Ah, so there's a lot going on. A lot.
Yes.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. So how have you been doing?
A little insane, a little bit like, I don't know, ready to explode into a million pieces, and then that means that I would morph, and there would be a million of me, and I could actually get everything done.
Sounds like a bad plan.
Why?
I mean, a million Aesons.
We could actually take over most of the government, rule most of the planetarial behavior, and I don't know, have a what is it? A utopia.
I mean, for you.
You imagine an army of psychic powered Aesons?
I know, right? It'd be a heck of a network.
Oh, I think it'd be a heck of a network. I think it'd be a heck of a take on of the networks.
Oh, Brenda's asked for protection from me, from you, from a million yous by me. Yeah, no, sorry. That's when I basically go off to find my own millionaire and hump him into trillionaire, billionaire, and hump him into the next rocket off the planet. A million Aesons. I'm leaving the planet. Like, nope. But I do recommend.
This is the reason why we do not have cloning yet.
Pretty much. I'm just saying there'd be a moment.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
All right. So, of course, I'm Aries, Virgo.
Duh, even the ancient ones aren't ready for that. I wonder, does that mean you get the same spirit guide? Is this going to be David with like a million call waiting lights?
Yes. He says he's a nope. We'll put it to the test.
Fair enough. I think that's the point where your spirit guide is like, I'm going to take a few Ambien and good luck. See you next millennium.
And it'll be like, oh, there's no more life lessons. They've all been learned. We're done. Thank you very much. We can get out of this damn school.
Yay! All right.
So anyhow, that's how my week has been. We had two scheduling snafus. And had to fix those.
Oh no!
Remember Monday morning?
Yes.
You got a note on your desk that said, "Fix my schedule. Here's the problems."
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a moment. Like, we got it fixed. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, what could be causing this from the astrology realm? Well, let's look at the planets and see what they're doing. Oh. Pluto's in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde, Neptune in retrograde, Venus in retrograde, Mercury going into retrograde, Uranus retrograded, going into retrograde, Jupiter preparing for retrograde.
Yep. So, yeah, we've got 2 more to go. So we are 5 planets in retrograde currently.
Mm-hmm.
So do we actually end up with all 7 retrograde at the same time? We do. That first second week of September. Because Jupiter doesn't start until September 14th. Mercury comes out September 15th. Oh, no. Actually, only 6 are going to be retrograde at this exact same moment. Because the Venus retrograde ends September 3rd, and then Jupiter goes retrograde.
Yeah, but they're still going to be shadow and moody.
Well, yes. All right. So, during the summer of 2023, a resounding 7 planets will be in retrograde at the same time. You read that right. Let's see. All right. So the Pluto retrograde is May 1st through October 10th. So we're already in that one. Pluto retrograde starts off in Aquarius, and then there's Capricorn on June 11th. Taking us back to March, old power struggles and former triangular situations will be reopened and re-examined to see how we can learn and grow from them. Then we have the Saturn retrograde that started June 17th and runs all the way through November 4th. Saturn retrograde in Pisces represents a moment of reflection in which we're contemplating how we can attain our goals for the future. Relationships are going to be tested as we're deciding who and what we should invest our energy in. Mm-hmm. Then June 30th, Neptune went retrograde. That goes on through December 6th. Our intuition may not be as spot on as it usually is when Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. You may start believing the narratives you tell yourself, even if they're not true. Mm-hmm. Venus retrograde, July 22nd through September 3rd. Venus retrograde in Leo will make us long for big declarations of love and affection. The less attention we get, the more we'll want it. This also holds true for money and finances. So the less money you have, the more you want money. So then Mercury retrograde, we are coming up on August 23rd through September 15th. Mercury retrograde in Virgo. Wait, what? I thought the retrograde just started. Didn't it?
Mercury retrograde begins. Begins on August 5th.
Yeah, so there's a problem with the Today Show article. I was like, wait, no, we've already done the messaging. There's sales and shit happening. Like, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Today. All right, today. Apparently you need fixed.
Okay.
All right.
So we may have overlaps that because the dates are wrong.
Give me a minute.
Like someone got confused.
Uh-huh. Okay, we are reconfirming this information, and this information is been interesting. So updated information on my own data. Hello, Today's Show. I'm available for interview.
Fair enough.
Pluto is in retrograde until October 12th. Saturn is in retrograde and will be in retrograde until November 15th. Neptune retrograde is July 2nd through the 7th. Venus's retrograde isn't even involved. No retrogrades in 2024. Mercury is in retrograde from August 5th through August 28th. Uranus is...
Oh! This article's from last year.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just caught the what planets are in retrograde in the summer of 2023.
Oh, thank you, Google, for being a yachts. Anyhow, we'll get to the Aeson story. Let's do it the Aeson way.
All right. So do we have 7 planets this summer in retrograde?
We have 6.
Okay, so not quite the summer of last year.
Right. Summer of this year. Venus is not in retrograde. Her next retrograde is March 1st.
Okay.
Mercury is in retrograde. It starts in Virgo, moves to Leo. We're going to be talking about that because that's a pain in the ass retrograde. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus beginning on September 1st and running to January 30th. Jupiter will be in retrograde October 9th and will run to February 5th. The problematical date, and this is what they should have wrote on, is August 28th.
Oh no, what happens the 28th?
On August 28th, we have Pluto, Saturn, Mercury, and Uranus starting the pre-retrograde shadow phase.
Ooh. That's going to be a rough day.
Yeah. Like, do not schedule things for this day. Plan to stay home. Take time for yourself.
Yeah. So August 28th, bad day. Just please stay.
What am I doing that day other than having a major sale?
Oh, God, it's a Wednesday. Well, we're definitely not doing a date. Because let me tell you how that date goes. That will look something like, for some reason, a deposit doesn't hit our account or something goes wonky with the deposit. Our card gets declined at a restaurant where Aeson just ate a meal that is full of gluten. Yeah, no, we're not leaving the house.
All right. Generational coming up.
Okay.
God, I love my astrology software. Copy.
Well, while you're doing that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Mercury in retrograde. So we are beginning in the sign of Virgo, but we'll move into Leo before it's over. So Virgo is an earth sign, and many of Virgo's qualities revolve around being grounded and connected to earthy energy. Virgos are thought to be good problem solvers. They are organized, practical, prepared, loyal, and kind. Leo is a fire sign, and many of the things we love about Leos come from this sign's fiery connection. Leos are confident and bold. They are creative thinkers, passionate, and motivated. So while Mercury retrograde impacts all of us, the sign in which the retrograde falls tends to be impacted the most. That means if you have strong Virgo and Leo placements in your sun, moon, or rising sign, you'll be hit harder than others. This retrograde is here to shake things up, and that will likely not sit well with Virgos. Virgos are also known to be perfectionists who like to pre-plan as much as possible. With Mercury retrograde in the mix, things are not going to go as planned. To better enjoy and perhaps meditate the lessons of this retrograde, we will need to learn to loosen up when things do not go according to plan. We will need to roll with the situation at hand. Becoming distressed or angry can easily be misinterpreted and can upset the people around you. Remember, Mercury rules communication, and when it's in retrograde, communication can become very muddy very quickly. So, yeah, and then, of course, there's the technological impact. So, technology, travel, and commerce. So yeah, if you have embraced those Virgo qualities of structure and having all the details planned, be sure to give yourself a little wiggle room in August. Expect things that you have planned to develop a few speed bumps or need a few last-minute adjustments. Perfectionism will not be possible during this retrograde. Do not let perfection be the enemy of good enough. Sometimes you need to accept the hand you've been given with grace. So, yeah, in my slide. All right, so we have some key problematic dates with multiple retrogrades, August 28th, 2024. So August 28th, 2024 marks a significant period in astrology with multiple planets in retrograde, each influencing different aspects of life. On this date, the celestial dance involves Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and Uranus, all retrograding, creating a complex astrological landscape that can deeply impact our lives.
Yes.
So we start with Pluto retrograde that's going to be in effect, is already in effect till August 12th, or October 12th. Pluto's retrograde journey is about revisiting and transforming deep-seated issues and power dynamics. This period urges us to confront and resolve past conflicts and power struggles. When Pluto retrogrades, especially moving from Aquarius back into Capricorn, it brings a review of societal structures and personal foundations. This is a time for intense inner work, shedding old skins, and emerging stronger and more self-aware. So Saturn retrograde already started, goes through November 15th in Pisces. So Saturn's retrograde in Pisces calls for reflection on our responsibilities, commitments, and the boundaries we set in our lives. This phase is about reassessing our long-term goals and ensuring they align with our true selves. Relationships and professional commitments might be tested. As Saturn's influence demands a realistic and disciplined approach to life, it's a time to solidify our foundations and address any lingering doubts about our paths. And then the Neptune retrograde started on my birthday and runs through December 7th. Neptune's retrograde can blur the lines between reality and illusion, making it essential to ground ourselves. Oh, the ironies here. During this period, we might question our dreams and ideals, seeking a clearer understanding of what is attainable versus what is fantasy. Neptune's retrograde invites introspection on our spiritual beliefs and creative pursuits, urging us to reconnect with our inner truths while avoiding escapism. Now, here's why I said, oh, the irony. Mercury retrograde runs through August 28th, is notorious for causing communication mishaps, travel delays, and technological glitches, starting in Virgo.
Hear that, Aeson? Loosen up on perfection. Perfection's overrated. Improvement's more important.
It is. But in talking about, so now I want to talk real quick about this while we're on it, because I see it the massivest of conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Neptune's retrograde means it's essential to ground ourselves. Mercury retrograde in Virgo means it's going to be impossible to stay grounded. Like, did I follow that?
Yep.
Okay. So, good luck. You're fucked. At least till the 28th of August. And then you can resume your Neptune groundedness.
Right.
Like focus after the 28th. So yay. All right. So Uranus starts on September 1st, but in pre-retrograde shadow on August 28th in Taurus. So Uranus, the planet of sudden changes and innovation, begins its retrograde on September 1st, but its pre-retrograde shadow starts affecting us on August 28th. This phase can bring unexpected shifts and disruptions, challenging us to adapt and embrace new perspective. It's a period for rethinking our approach to change, technology, and progress. Patience and flexibility are key to navigating Uranus's erratic influence. Oh, I'm going to get so many calls that day.
Yes.
All right, so although Venus is not retrograde in 2024, the simultaneous retrogrades of Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and Uranus create a potent mix of energies. So this period demands heightened self-awareness and deliberate action. So to help navigate this, reflect and reassess, communicate clearly, do your best to stay grounded, embrace change, and focus on inner work. Especially because of the Pluto and Saturn retrogrades are ideal for deep inner work. And address unresolved issues, work on strengthening your foundations. So, yeah. Oh, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh, August 28th, guys. August 28th. Just hang in there. Try not to kill people. Like, I'm being serious. It's going to be a rough day.
Call off work. Do not talk to the boyfriend.
Like, world's closed. Sorry. Like,
your computers will blow up. And you're going to have to work on those deep soul issues. Promise you. Guarantee you. Like these, like mark the calendar with a big red X and watch what occurs that day. Movers and shakers are going to be shaken and fallen.
And for the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants in our, WASPs who don't do anything.
Right.
Any advice? Any advice?
Don't. Just relax. Just anything you need to do can wait 3 days.
Okay, fair enough. Like, you haven't dealt with it up till now. Just stay home. Don't.
Right. And then allow. That's the other thing. Allow.
Well, most definitely. Like, it is what it is. I think is the real key motto for August 20th. Yeah. It is what it is. Just, we're all going to survive. It is what it is.
And if you guys are wondering why I'm a little distracted, I navigated into a different part of my astrology software to figure out what the hell is going on with that article.
Oh.
I found what I've been looking for in this program that I've been looking for since I've owned it. Now, if I can just make it generate it.
Ooh, fun.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And these are the things we're going to experience in this Mercury in retrograde. Is it's going to be like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Oh, goodness. So.
May definitely be a time to try something with the intent to have fun with it, not to necessarily succeed at it.
Yes, and understand that you're going to get some horror information. What I mean by that is you're going to hear information about, oh my God, all these planets are in retrograde and it's just going to blow your life up. No, it's not.
I mean, it's going to make things rough. It's going to potentially, if you go in as a perfectionist who is determined to get what you want and only what you want, no negotiation, no ability to compromise, then I think you could honestly blow your life up.
Right.
Because if you approach with that, like if that's the energy you bring to the table,
right.
Oh yeah, hug a landmine. You're going to have better results.
Well, we're going to have more conclusive results. That's a guarantee.
True.
Okay.
True.
It's kind of like, if we look at the Pluto in retrograde journey that's been going on, we've been seeing transformation we've been seeing unexpected things to occur all over the place.
Oh yeah. Well, and even this week, like it just feels like a lot of things are starting to like move,
Yeah, quickly.
change, become different. Priorities are shifting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I honestly had a worse time like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, I can't even. And I'm wondering if that's some of the energy that, because we always say my Mercury retrograde hits early.
It does. It hits
It's
early in your
hard
chart.
and it's early and it is ugly. And then just when it hits everyone else, I'm like, yay, I'm over here.
Right, because, and this is why it's important to sit down with an astrologer that understands astrology, practical tropical Western astrology, and go, hey, so what do I need to know? But I want to kind of go through, people always focus on the sun signs. That's cute. Let's focus on the retro planets. Y'all that have taken my astrology class, grab your chart and start looking at where this planet is in your natal. Pluto in retrograde. It's going to make us fix the problems we don't want to deal with. We're going to have to issue pink slips to the people that really don't belong in our lives. We're going to have to open up those wounds that we've bandaged and festered and covered in black tape and clean them out. Especially while it's in Capricorn, which is August, September, and into October. It's a lot of inner work, shadow work, crazy work.
Now, you were saying, especially while it's in Capricorn, is that because that's going to be the point where you make the most progress?
That's the most methodical sign.
Okay.
It's that thinky, sorty, calculational sign. You ever watch Numbers?
Yes.
Okay, Capricorns, that's their brain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the dude's sitting there figuring out the crime and all these numbers appear up in the air, that's Capricorn's thinking all the time.
Okay.
All right. So all those bad coping mechanisms are going to get cleaned out. All right, let's look at Saturn retrograde. It's in Pisces, which is not happy in Pisces. Okay, the attitude of Saturn, and the way I remember Saturn, is do you remember Sergeant Slaughter from WWE?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing for you there.
Okay. Do you remember a drill sergeant? What do you remember the movie perception of a drill sergeant?
Okay.
Now, take that drill sergeant and make it a dom.
Okay.
That's Saturn.
Okay. Could just say the Taskmaster.
It is the Taskmaster. And he's with the floaty, emotional Pisces house.
Oh, this sounds like, what was that movie? Oh God. Full Metal Jacket.
Can be. I'm thinking more like the one that Arnold Schwarzenegger done teaching a kindergarten class.
Oh God, Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So go for it.
No, it's the famous quote from the movie.
Okay.
It has no place here.
So this is making us look at our responsibilities, our commitment, and the boundaries we set with people in our lives. It's also making us question, what the hell are you doing? Is that what you're supposed to be doing? No? Then get back to doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need a different view. Thank God. Okay.
All right.
Then we have Neptune. Now, remember, Neptune is the psychic, Neptune is the pure psychic intuitive person. He is floaty. He walks around on clouds. He's lost in his metaphysical blur.
Mm-hmm.
that is hitting during a period that we got the other two up there losing their minds. And it looks for spiritual growth because it wants to progress to the higher self. It's also in the same house with Saturn and the Taskmaster. Can you imagine the conversations they're having? Eat your breakfast. Does that cause my higher self to feel better? They don't get along. They don't even like each other at the board meeting of the planet.
Eat your Wheaties.
Yeah.
Put on your pants. Put on your pants.
Uh-huh.
Just put on your pants.
But that doesn't cause my soul any inner reaction.
But you have to wear pants.
Exactly. That's what's going on in that Pisces apartment right now.
So basically, it's like being in our house.
No, not really.
A little bit. It's like I'm gonna go pick up your mother. Put on pants. I don't want to put on pants. Put on your pants.
All right. Then we have Mercury going into retrograde down the street in Virgo. Thank God. If it had been in Pisces, I would have said, like, set it on fire, just burn it down. All right. So Virgo, the communicator. This is the one that has the 3 phones, the 4 televisions, and the 3 computers running off them all the time while they're journaling in the shadow journal. Is deciding that, like, oh, I'm just going to send rapid emails and crazy bullshit to everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. So all your Virgos are going to be like, I found memes.
Yes.
And they're going to say it like that, too.
And it started yesterday.
Yeah.
Virgos, we love you dearly. We may have to send an SOS for you.
Pretty much.
Expect communication not to happen. Expect communication to blow your brain up. Expect communication to go off planet. And let's not, do you want to count the X's that you have unresolved soul issues? Hello, Uranus, popping back up so you can just clear that out.
Hey, not always the worst thing. Like, take the time. Clear your X's.
Right. Like, set them on fire.
Don't set them on fire. But let it be done.
Right. All right. Then we have Uranus that begins on September 1st. So it's already beginning to get grunt. It does sudden changes, quick changes. Look for, like, rethinking our approaches and new technologies popping out. Quickly Google when the next Apple show is. Just wondering.
Oh, that's if an Apple still exists based on their stock performance.
So
I think the next event, September 2024, September 3rd or 10th. They haven't released their official date yet.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So that's when they're expected to unveil the iPhone 16 and other devices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And there's some new products.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the Apple Watch X, the AirPods 4, the AirPods Max,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the late 2024, early 2025 M4 Mac computers.
Mm-hmm.
It's also possible they're going to be talking about the Apple TV 4K, the iPad Mini 7, a low-cost iPad, HomePod with display, a new display, Home Hub device.
Mm-hmm.
Those could already happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Good deal.
Very interesting. And I wonder, does Apple have an astrologer on staff? Or is, you know, Apple and Uranus in link because it's technology? It's our internet.
There is not. Just cute.
Yeah, because it'll go all the way to January 30th, 2025.
Apple's not doing as bad as the news makes it sound.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're down like $10.
What I find interesting is we are in an election season.
Mhm.
We have the planet of revolution going retrograde in Taurus starting September 1st and running to January 2025. It's the generational planet that connects freedom and breaks apart from old ways of being. Its transit can last longer because it's located on the outer reaches of the solar system, and it affects and can drive massive social changes. What do we all have going on during this time?
Well, election day, which was already going to be mountainous enough to deal with, and then we've had a drastic change
Right.
in candidates.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I think it would be pretty awesome if we saw a sudden swinging shift
Mhm.
in which it's like, you know what, we can't do this crap anymore. We can't do this crap anymore.
Right.
Like we have had, oh my god, about 8 year, well, no longer than that, 12 years at this point at least.
At least.
Of like some very heavy draconian push backwards.
No.
Like, oh, let's revisit the 50s that were awesome.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't. I really wish people would get done with the idea that the 50s were great and that we could move forward.
Stop watching I Love Lucy. It is not history.
No. Well, it's funny. Like, watch I Love Lucy and laugh, but no, don't.
Right.
Don't try to think that the 50s were this pretty.
Right.
Like,
So the U.S. Vice President debate will be on September 25th. In October, we have the second U.S. presidential debate. This will be interesting. On October 6th, the EU starts rolling out its entire exit system. The EESS requiring non-EU citizens to scan their passports when entering the free travel zones. We have World Music Expo in October. The Georgian elections occur on October 26th. The October 27th is the Lithuanian elections. The elections in Bosnia and Herzegovina occur. NASA is set to launch the European Clipper. October, the Vatican is to hold a synod looking for directions of the direction of the Roman Catholic faith. Of course, we have Election Day. Then we have the CAP29 summit in November. We have Somalian elections. Bosnia hosts the G2. No, Brazil will host the G20 summit. These are major things going on. That's on the 18th. In November, the U.S. expects to launch its first crewed mission in 52 years to the moon. In December, the Ghana elections began. Notre Dame in Paris reopens on December 8th. December 20th, the South Sudan elections occur. Election expected in a few countries there. Indian Space Agency ORIS is due to launch its space probe. And that's December 20th. So, yeah, most of the world is doing an election during a Uranus in retrograde. We will see probably major shifts and changes to what is expected. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Russia gets a new president during this time. Point blank. It's the time of revolution, and they've been unhappy with their current president for a good while.
Yes. I don't think a time in which sudden changes and reevaluations not going to serve that well.
Right.
Like, not to keeping one more term. Vladimir Putin. Like, I'm just saying, it does not sound like, to me, that would be how that would work out.
All right, well, let's look at, and this is how people work what I call applied astrology. The last Uranus in retrograde. All right, which ended on January 27, 2024. Financial and material shifts. During the retrograde, many people experienced a shift in their finance and material situations, prompting a reassessment of values and securities. Technology and social changes occurred. Oh, I hate when I have to go back and do the world thing.
Okay.
Political developments in Leave. An incident of the prime minister lost his seat in the general elections, signaling a political surge. Vietnamese Supreme Court upheld a 15-year-old ban on opposing leader from holding political office. A move supported by the United States, but controversial in the United States human rights campaigns. Earth Day was recognized. Of course, we have a lot of World War II. Oh, I guess it would help if I looked at something right. Okay, so the last one, inflation went up, economy became unstable, climate-related disasters occurred, political shifts and unrest, technology advances and challenges. This is when AI came out, space exploration was developed more. The Panini was showing that vaccines became effective. It's bad. I have to remember what DC's zip code is. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. So the last one is when Roe v. Wade was reversed.
Ah, which was very much a sudden drastic change.
Right. It's like that's breaking away from standard.
So this is kind of a pendulum re-swing.
Right.
Okay. Can't guarantee it's going to be Roe v. Wade goes the other way now. That we put everything right.
Rebellion. What the hell are they thinking? What do you mean? Like, these are the shifts that occur with this.
Mm-hmm. So, on the lookout.
That's how you do applied astrology, is you look at what happened when and where it was at. I'm wondering if we've ever had a presidential election doing that.
Probably.
Yes, 2016.
Oh dear. But again, sudden drastic change means.
And no one thought that.
It would have to be the same sudden drastic change.
(2008). And 84. Okay. So 84, 2008, 2016, and now in this election.
So wasn't 84, that's when we got Reagan, wasn't it?
That was the incumbent election of Reagan, who won by a landslide against Walter Mondale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So definitely, we could see a lot of people crossing aisles.
We can see a lot of people crossing aisles. We can see a lot of people making sudden changes. I mean, because let's look at it. Okay, so Reagan got reelected in 84. In 2008, we got Barack Obama.
That was a re-election.
Yeah. 2008 election results in the Norman County Barack Obama. No. Candidate, not
incumbent.
Not incumbent. And then 16, we got Oompa Loompa. And now we're doing this again.
I thought he became president in 04. No. It was 08. All right. Well, sorry. I don't know where my brain went. So, yeah, no. 04, we, God. Yeah, all right. The Bush years.
Have you trauma blocked them?
I try to. I try to. I thought we all agreed we were going to block those years from our memory.
I thought so too.
Just saying. Alrighty.
Oh, also Nixon, Kennedy, Interesting. So apparently, Uranus in retrograde brings us presidents that make history.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Didn't say good, bad, or evil, just major historical presidents.
Well, major historical elections, like
Yeah.
elections that drastically shifted like what we thought was going to happen to something that we didn't really see possible.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, Obama becoming president, like, there was hope. There was so much hope for that happening.
Right.
But even at that, it felt like a long shot the whole way through.
Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, sorry guys, I'm getting lost in astrology. I really shouldn't. Let's move on to Are You an Asshole?
Alrighty. Oh, am I the asshole for my behavior at a buffet? Hi, everyone. I, 28 female, recently reconnected with a friend, 27 female, from high school. Let's name her Brianna. We were really close, like, think inseparable, but the distance after we moved away inevitably caused our friendship to dwindle. I recently moved to her city with my husband, and it was like nothing had changed. After a few one-on-one lunches, she wanted to introduce me to some of her other friends from university. We decided on an upscale buffet at a hotel. I think it's relevant to include that the university she went to was known for its extremely wealthy and privileged students. Coming from an upper middle class background, I wasn't really sure what to expect or what we'd have to connect on, but she assured me it'd be okay and that everyone was really down to earth. I got along with everyone really well. The conversations were engaging and we all bounced off of each other really nicely with the banter. She booked it on a Monday afternoon, so it'd be relatively less crowded, so none of us would have trouble communicating. But here is where I think everything went wrong. There was a short queue behind me, 3 people, all in our party, one of whom included Brianna. While I was trying to scoop a stew for myself, it was a minestrone, and I had accidentally grabbed a scoopful of vegetables instead of soup. So on my second scoop, I decided to do the opposite so that I could get a balance of both. My first scoop hardly contained any soup. I stopped after 2 scoops and turned to see Brianna staring at me with an appalled expression. I was really puzzled, but I kept on walking back to our table, so I wasn't blocking anyone's way, and I figured I should ask her about it later. The rest of the lunch, I noticed Brianna acting really strange. She was limiting her interactions with me, avoiding eye contact with me, etc. Another friend, 28 male, even asked her about this, and she dismissed the question. She said, "I don't know what you're talking about." After we all said goodbye, I got a series of texts from Brianna saying how disgustingly low class I acted in front of her friends. I asked her what she meant, and she referred to how I selectively scooped the minestrone in front of her and how it's extremely poor etiquette to pick and choose portions at a buffet. I tried explaining to her it was an accident and I hadn't intentionally tried to do what she was explaining, but she said I was still holding up the line. I apologized for that, and she hasn't responded since. I apologized to the 2 other people that were waiting behind me, but they didn't know what I was talking about. I explained to them what Brianna saw, and they said she's being a pompous ass and told me to forget about it. Now I have no idea what to feel because I initially felt extremely guilty when Brianna confronted me, but hearing these two say it's no big deal is really making me wonder. I would love some other opinions. Thanks. What? I mean, one, I have to ask, is this sincerely an adequate question? Like, it happens. You grab, one, this is a buffet. Okay, this is not fine dining at its finest.
Right.
Even if it is an upscale restaurant, even if you are, as a customer, as a diner, the person going up to get your own food on a buffet, you are not an expert. Things happen. You balance it out as best you can and move along. I really think this is much ado about nothing.
Right.
I really can't see anyone but the most... the only people I could see having a problem with this are people you probably don't want to be friends with in the first place.
Right.
So I'm going to go with not the asshole. Your friend definitely is. But not the asshole. I think you handled a benign situation with as much normal decency as you could. And, sorry to hold you up, and we move on. That's all you really can do. I mean, I really don't see what your friend was expecting or what specifically... I mean, obviously what you could have, quote unquote, done differently would have been to have gotten a perfect scoop the first time and moved forward. Again, crap happens.
Right.
And in terms of social slights and imperfections, this was so minor. So minor. That I wonder about her reaction.
I think her reaction is she got too big for her britches at university.
I mean, it's starting to feel that way, most definitely. Or if she's just really that afraid of her friends, her other friends. Is this the nightmare she lives in, that she's going to scoop her soup wrong, and her friends are going to get rid of her?
Right.
Those aren't friends; those are frenemies.
Right.
Why are you introducing people to your frenemies?
Well, not only that, but why are you hanging out with these people to begin with?
Yeah, Brenda's saying the two friends are right about her, that she is insecure about being accepted by the others. And I think that kind of strikes towards where it's at, is how if you're this insecure around people, what are you doing introducing other friends to them? As in, you have this group of friends from university that you're really insecure around. What are you doing introducing anyone?
Right. Well, why are you friends with them?
I'm really thinking that's probably going to be one of those moments of OP's friend is probably lower upper class. And has gotten used to trading in or running in circles that are a bit above her pay grade for the benefits of, next upping.
Right.
And so she's thinking that any kind of faux pas, and she's out. And
all right.
It's okay.
Barista exclusive article is up. when looking at this, I'm like, why are you friends with these people? Did you get uppity at this uppity university and now you're a normal friend? You're now squirting. I would like put her on probation until she comes out of her big girl pants.
I think you just learned the other reason why you weren't friends anymore.
Right.
And that sometimes when that occurs, you really need to take stock of whether you want to jump on the same treadmill she's on.
Right.
Because this sounds like a lot of work and a lot of garbage.
It does. It's a lot of garbage. It's a lot of trash.
It may get you a, 8-figure salary job.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really going to be worth it to live like this?
To be false your whole life, wearing a mask.
Well, and sometimes that's the reality, is we're friends with people and we think the world of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes in an instant, we learn who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this kind of moment where it's like, why did I think so highly of you? And welcome to your mid-20s. This is like your 20s. This is all it is.
Mm-hmm. Eliminating and hiring.
Yeah. So good luck with that. Personally, I think you need to stop taking it.
Right.
And accept that, you made a minor. And when I say minor, I mean so minor.
Like, why are you watching so closely what other people do?
Yeah. I mean, how long can it take to do this?
Right.
I mean, sincerely, how long?
Right.
Like, no one was waiting the rest of the afternoon.
Right.
Like, get over it. All right, so poll's up.
Poll is up. Let's go look at this relationship advice.
All right. After a first date, I, 26 male, asked the girl, 24 female, a common relationship question. Her answer shocked me. How would you respond to this? After a first date, I, 26 male, asked the girl, 24 female, over text if she was dating with the intent to marry. Below is her response. Actually, it's only 1 out of 5 whole paragraphs she sent me in response to my question. Needless to say, I sat there in stunned silence for a minute. I've never heard anyone say something like this before. I met her online and would describe her as quirky, but then again, so am I. Quote, when I date, I am looking for someone who has enough standards that reaches my expectations for breeding. I'm looking for good DNA for my future child, and I have a weird obsession for how I want my kid to look like and the personality traits. Too long didn't read. This response seems like the most insane red flag of all time. How am I supposed to even react to this? Like, who even uses the term breeding to describe having a child? How would you respond to this?
You don't. You run, you mated horse.
I honestly think that was a shit response. As in, this was intended to draw stunned silence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could be wrong. And if this is how she truly thinks, technically she's backed by science.
Mm-hmm.
That this is kind of what we do as human beings.
Right.
I mean, it's said very much more formally than most people would ever think of it.
Right.
But to some extent, that is what dating is.
Right.
You're looking for someone who is a decent enough human being.
Right.
That is genetically gifted or gifted enough that you feel confident that, if having kids with them wouldn't be a disaster. Like, decent human being, looks good. It's just a general dating.
It's general dating. There is a biochemical response. There is DNA responses that occur there. But putting it point blank out like, well, are you looking to date for marriage or are you dating for fun? And getting back 5 paragraphs. This is one. This was like the top of the cream. There's also comments because I went and dug comments about the expected income he is to make, the expected lifestyle he is to have. Like I say, have a wish list, baby. But she done got it down to a job application, including a DNA test before marriage.
I mean, is she looking for a man in finance? 6'5", blue eyes, trust fund?
She's looking for a man in high financial status.
See, this is why I think this was a shit response.
Well, I get that. But she's also looking for a man that, works out regularly, has very neutral skin. I'm trying to understand what she means by neutral skin. Are we talking tone, texture? I mean, neutral is so awful. And
I'm going to say she's looking for someone that is, genetically speaking, middle of the road.
Right.
Like, you're not going to give her a ginger. You're not going to necessarily, create children that are going to be discriminated against.
Right. And she's already labeled him as committal issues.
Ouch. 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 So, no, I think someone got told some truth that they weren't expecting to hear. And that, this is a 24-year-old that's like, nope, I'm ready for marriage. I'm dating around to find someone to marry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here you go.
Right. And like she has her the future spouse pooped in there.
Oh, there's going to be a Brenda comment. Now, the question is, where does she fall in the qualifications that she demanded of him?
That's a good question that's not provided the answer to.
I think that's because he is stunned to hear someone actually say the weird part out loud.
Yeah. That, I'm looking for this type of stock.
But it's what we do. We just usually don't tell people so directly. This is what I want. But point blank, no holds barred. Mm-hmm. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And just the whole I don't give a fuck what you think of this. Or if you think I have the ability to pull it off, this is what I want. I'm settling for nothing less.
Right. Well, she's 4'11". She's wanting 5'9".
Okay. It's reasonable.
Right. She's wanting someone very proficient in income earning at 24, and she's only wanting them to be 3 years older or 3 years younger.
Okay. So she's in a 6-year band.
Mm-hmm.
Again, reasonable.
Yeah.
Because technical averages are roughly about 7 years.
Right.
So, again, nothing she's asking for is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it gets a little at the end, but still, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds grounded. It's reasonable with a high end.
Yeah.
But, no. I mean, some people stay single forever too, because what they're looking for is either A, something they've never identified.
Right.
Or B, they have whittled that list so low.
True.
You have blown the statistics of finding someone who meets this intersectionality.
Right.
You cannot find this.
Right.
Because there are people that they're in I want someone who is exactly 6'4". I want someone who, does this, has this, is that. And that's why I kind of bring up the summer's, popular song,
Right.
Looking for a Man in Finance.
Right.
Someone did the numbers.
Yeah.
And they're wrong, but technically, let's assume they're right for a second. It worked out to there were 2 possible men in the world that statistically met the qualifications.
I wonder, can ChatGPT design that?
It was the blue eyes that technically defeated her horror.
Right.
Of all the things in that request, it was blue eyes that really effed her up. The height did a lot, but the blue eyes, because that technically threw out some ethnicities.
Right.
Just generally speaking, blue eyes do not occur in. Or occur at such a low rate. It's the likelihood. But now, technically, I argue with the math because I think there were some things done wrong there.
Okay.
Well, because if you're looking for someone who is in finance with a trust fund, typically that speaks to a better upbringing, as in more economic stability and therefore like better health care, better nutrition, better everything across the board. I think that extrapolating the entire gross population on height was probably a mistake.
Right.
So I'd say technically the number's probably 3 times as high, and there are 6 guys.
Right.
I'm just saying, statistically speaking, lower income brackets are usually more, are obviously more economically unstable. The more economically unstable you are, the less likely you are to get appropriate health care and appropriate nutrition, which tends to stunt growth.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Okay. ChatGPT tells you there's how many?
36.
Ooh. So that much higher than my number by a couple of magnitudes. Just about. At least one order of magnitude. But yeah, no, I thought she because there is a TikToker who sat here and did the math and tried to extrapolate. And again, I thought her math was a little skewed by the fact that she made assumptions that didn't quite match up to like potential realities.
Okay, I added in another preference, and apparently I have 2 of 4.
Do what now?
I added in another preference that I didn't list immediately.
Okay.
And apparently I'm dating 2 of 4.
Okay. You made them gay.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You can tell me later. But anyway, so what's your advice on this one?
Run. Run quickly, run fast.
I don't know. I think enjoy the quirkiness and see where it goes.
see, when you get with people this way,
I'm just saying, one way or another, it's gonna be a story.
yeah, it may be a story, but it's not a relationship.
But if it does work out,
mm-hmm.
again, gonna be a hell of a story.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, it's gonna be a hell of a story.
Right.
Like, I think either way, see how it plays out. Let it run its course.
Okay.
See where it goes.
Interesting. All right, so let's take a look at that poll and see how we're doing.
All right.
Ooh. It's a clean sweep.
Ooh. Joe is always our optimist. No, I'm serious. What? How? How with that setup could there not be a phenomenal story to tell people later?
Right.
Either it's going to be the how I met your mother from hell,
Right.
or it's going to be the y'all won't believe this girl I dated.
Uh-huh. Well, I think it's already registered. Y'all won't believe this girl I went on a date with. So it's a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the asshole.
Yay, not the asshole.
Again.
Hey, we try.
I know we're trying. There is a lot of things going on. It has been a lovely show. We will be back on Friday. Come see me at Pagan Pride at Holly Grove Park on Saturday. I believe it's 11 to 5 or so.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a little messed up on the time.
4, 11, 5. The reason we get messed up is we arrive early and we stay late. But anyhow, I will be teaching a class. The class is Your Grandmother Was a Witch, Get Over It. And we'll be talking about some of those things that we classify as witchcraft that was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Common culture.
Like, it was not witchcraft in their time. It actually was, but it wasn't seen that way.
Yeah.
It was just what you did.
Exactly. And it became inbred into the Appalachian culture. And then now we've sourced it out.
Ingrained, not inbred. Let's not describe Appalachian culture and ever use the word inbred.
Okay, fine. Take your PC somewhere. Because it was. Because we have Scotch Irish coming in. We have Native American forced in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have the Germans moving in. Then we have the Asian moving in. We take a big old spoon of life and mountains.
Mm-hmm. Like, it really is the melting pot of the melting pot.
Right.
Like, and so there was a lot of blending of cultures and traditions and ideas and experiences and spiritual practices / magic / how you live.
Exactly. Especially when you have no doctors, no pharmacies. There may be one doctor in 100 miles. There's a lot of birthing of babies going on, and cuts and wounds and healings and faith being poured in, because, I don't know, Appalachians have always been poor, but we've always gotten very explosive faith, religious, zealous, poured into the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be talking about that.
Absolutely. It should be an amazing conversation.
It will be, hopefully. Otherwise, it'll blow up. We never know with my classes. We'll film it. Like, we're taking the filming phone with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be up for YouTube afterwards.
Yay! Good deal.
But I'm doing readings. Of course, the 5, 10, 20s.
Mm-hmm.
They're not long readings. But, because it's fair. We never get time for long reads. I can't sit there for 3 hours.
Coming into a public event expecting a general reading is not a good life choice.
Well, I give a mini general, but what I'm saying there is coming in and expecting that we're going to get in as graphic details as we do on the phone ain't happening, honeys.
But some people just like to see.
Yeah. All right, guys. So with that, let's flip this over. Take it off.
All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Devin, and Maria Meyer. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcsbnetwork.com.
Yes, and you guys have a great night. We'll see you Friday night. Bye, y'all.
Bye.